Why did the American Civil War really happen? For decades, some have tried to downplay the central cause, pointing to things like states' rights or economic differences. But if you want the real answer, you just have to listen to the people who started the war. They told us exactly why they did it. Let's cut through the myths and look at the hard evidence. The conflict, which raged from 1861 to 1865, was fundamentally about one thing: the institution of slavery. The Southern economy was built on it, and its leaders were terrified of losing their political power to protect it. When states began to secede from the Union, they didn't hide their motives. They wrote them down for everyone to see in official documents called declarations of secession. Let's start with South Carolina, the first state to leave the Union. Their declaration explicitly stated that an increasing hostility on the part of the non-slave holding states to the institution of slavery was the main reason for their departure. They were worried that the federal government would no longer protect their right to own human beings. Mississippi was even more direct. Their declaration proclaimed, "Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery, the greatest material interest of the world." They didn't mince words. Their entire way of life, their economy, their identity, it was all tied to slavery, and they were willing to go to war to defend it. Texas joined them, complaining that the northern states were promoting Negro equality and were failing to return escaped slaves, which they saw as a violation of their rights over and over. The documents from the seceding states make it clear this was about slavery, but what about the argument for states' rights? You hear this a lot. The South was just defending its rights against an overreaching federal government, right? Well, let's look closer. The only right they were truly passionate about defending was the right to own slaves. In fact, they were strongly against states' rights when northern states used them to resist slavery. When northern states passed personal liberty laws to protect free black people and resist the Fugitive Slave Act, the South was furious. They demanded the federal government override those state laws. Even more telling is the Confederate Constitution itself. It explicitly protected slavery at a national level. Article 1, Section 9 of their Constitution stated that no law denying or impairing the right of property in Negro slaves shall be passed. It even mandated the protection of slavery in any new territories the Confederacy might acquire. So much for a government founded on the principle of states' rights. They literally banned their own states from ever choosing to abolish slavery. Perhaps the most chilling piece of evidence comes from the mouth of the Confederacy's own Vice President, Alexander Stephens. In his famous cornerstone speech in March 1861, he laid out the philosophical foundation of the new Confederate government. He said, and I'm quoting directly, "Our new government is founded upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and normal condition." He proudly declared that the Confederacy was the first government in history to be based on this great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. There's no ambiguity there. He is explicitly stating that the Confederacy was founded on the principle of white supremacy and the institution of slavery. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 was the final trigger. It is important to remember Lincoln was elected on a platform of stopping the expansion of slavery into new Western territories, not on abolishing it where it already existed. But for the South, that was enough. They saw the writing on the wall. A future where they couldn't expand slavery meant their political power would dwindle, and eventually, the institution itself would be threatened. So, they seceded before Lincoln even took office, proving their actions were a direct response to the perceived threat against slavery. So, when you look at all the evidence, the secession documents, the Confederate Constitution, the words of its leaders, the conclusion is inescapable. The American Civil War was not about tariffs, or abstract economics, or a noble cause of states' rights. It was about one thing: the Southern states' determination to preserve and expand the institution of chattel slavery. Every other issue was secondary to that central, brutal reality. Understanding this history is crucial. It's not about placing blame. It's about acknowledging the truth of our past, so we can better understand the present. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you next time.